Oh, Baishaya Inkabi Yakala Mjondol.
Yes.
Meaning the hitman and cried inside the shack, referring to Swayo who was killed inside the shack.
Meaning hit the hitman.
Meaning hit the hitman and cried inside the shack, referring to Swayo who was killed inside the shack. Money was collected at the rank, staying at taxi rank, to pay Ketomena unit. Sanele orchestrated the killing of Bongani Mkhize. Somebody was given the task to phone Brigadier Madonzela that Bongani Mkhize was planning to kill Mandla and Ngaba and Bekikele. Sanele wanted the police to think that Bongani Mkhize was a troublemaker who killed Kongo, now was planning to kill Mandla, Ngaba and Bekikele within short period. Bongani Mkhize was killed by Ketomena unit. Money was collected and Ketomena was paid for job well done. I was not there when the money was paid to Ketomena. I heard that Ketomena paid, Ketomena paid. Bongani Mkhize should have been killed long time back. He was, most of the time he escaped. Ketomena will phone Sanele and give a report that they missed him. That is all that I can say for now. I know and understand the contents of the statement. I have no objection in taking the prescribed oath. I consider the oath to be binding on my conscience. It is dated the 9th of May, 2013.
Yes. So here, from what you have read, you have a witness who's testifying, let me not say so, about two instances where the Ketomano policemen were paid money. In the first instance, he witnessed it himself, where Mr. Mostert and Mr. Boysen received cash.
That is correct.
And then in the second instance, he remembers the money being collected, but never saw it being paid.
Yes, yes.
So what were you going to use this witness for, if at all?
Chairperson, the payment of the money was intrinsic to the plan to eliminate members of the KwaMaphumulo Taxi Association. So that it was crucial to bring that evidence before the court.
Why? What role was it playing that you have an eyewitness to a bribery involving two policemen from Ketomano, including Major General Boysen?
Well, Chairperson, that information is crucial to shed light on the planning of the killing of members of KwaMaphumulo.
Yes. I understand you've said that it's important, but
yes.
I'm saying what legal weight, in other words, what point was being proven by establishing that the Stenga people were bribing Ketomano to eliminate KwaMaphumulo?
It shows that this feud starts from the fight this thing starts from the feud between KwaMaphumulo Taxi Association and Stenga Taxi Association.
Yes.
And the side that Ketomena was taking, but why, it also shows why they were taking that side, because they are then paid to eliminate the opposing view when they are supposed to be neutral and to do their work, which is police work.
Was Mr. Matonsi still alive at the time that you drew the indictment and you were meant to run the trial?
No, he died in...
Well, I mean, we know Mr. Ndlondlo had died.
I have because when my colleagues consulted them, I was not present. I have this thing of confusing both Matonzi, the dying of Matonzi and Ndlondlo.
No, yes, I'm not asking you to confuse them.
Yes.
But I'm asking whether, to your knowledge, Mr. Matonzi was an available witness to be called.
Yes. Yes.
And please let me know and correct me if I am misreading the statement.
Yes.
Does this statement also not signify that the police knew who killed Superintendent Konto?
Yes, it does, it does, it does. Chairperson.
Yes, just expand on that. I mean, meaning what? I mean, the statement has a portion that deals with this, but just give the evidence fuller.
Chairperson, Ketomena was from the beginning aware of exactly what was happening, and their fueling of the feud between Kwamaphumulo and Stenga Taxi Association was which led to the death of so many people was to us surprising. I mean, Ketomena is a law enforcement who are supposed to be protecting the citizens, but they themselves are party to the elimination of innocent citizens.
No, I think what I'm trying to get to is, you remember yesterday and last week we debated this question around the use of the death of Superintendent Kongo as a fig leaf for the subsequent execution of a number of people.
That is correct.
Because they were accused of having been party to the killing of Superintendent Kongo. Not that that would have been lawful.
Of course.
But factually, that's the excuse that was given.
Yes, that's the narrative that was being run.
Now you've got a witness who says, I personally saw the money being paid.
Yes.
I personally witnessed the conversation about why the money was being paid.
That is correct.
So it's in that context that I think the chair is asking you to address this issue around whether the statement doesn't give you an explanation around the murder of Superintendent Kongo.
Oh, well, it does. It does give you an explanation.
Yes.
Yes.
Meaning?
Chairperson, it shows that Stenga Taxi Association was working together with the Ketomena police to have members of Kwamaphumulo Taxi Association eliminated.
Yes. Now, we've addressed the statement of Mr. Matonsi, who you say, from your knowledge, was available to be called as a witness.
That is correct.
Yes. Now, Mr. Ndlondo also gave a statement. Do you recall that?
Yes, I remember that.
Now, it's not attached to your affidavit, but it should be. Yes. Leonard Franz points me to file 1, page 157. File 1 of the cross-examination bundle.
This is
This one. Next page. Yeah. And that's the handwritten version, correct?
page 1.
157.
That is correct.
And the last page with the signature of the Commissioner of Oaths is page 163.
That is correct, Chair.
And although he is referred to as Ndlondo, his actual name is Beginkosi Mtian.
That is correct, Chair.
Yes, which explains the name, the signature you see at page 163 at the top of the page, Bim Tian.
That is correct, Chairperson.
Yes, thank you. The typed up version of that statement appears at page 164 to 168.
That is correct.
Is that correct? Could you also read that into the record, because it's the second source in addition to Mr. Matonse's statement of the same hue.
Chairperson, can I read the typed version, and only to indicate that the name was deleted when copies were made for the defense at the time, because this was one of the witnesses that whose identity we were protecting in terms of Section 144 of the Criminal Procedure Act. Section 1443 says, if the prosecution is of the view that a witness's name or a witness's life might be in danger, it authorizes us to, what do you call it, to? Yes, certain names from the statement. So we did that with this statement. But we can see on the original, the name is Bengosi Ntiani. And, or maybe I should just read the handwritten one.
Well, it depends on which one will be easier for you. If you can read his handwriting, fine. But if
Correct.
not, just look at the typed version.
All right.
You're reading from the typed version now?
Chairperson, I'll read from the handwritten
Okay,
one.
that's fine.
Because I didn't go through the type
All right.
just to cross-check.
Okay.
Bengosi,
So you are reading at page 157.
that is correct, Chair.
Okay, thank you.
Bengosi Ntiani Zondo states under oath in English, I'm an adult male with ID number this, 32 years old at the time when it was made, residing at this address in Melville in Stenga with this cell phone number. I'm a taxi owner at Stenga Taxi Association. Sometimes year 2007, Vela Mkhize was killed at Kwamakuta Cemetery. Vela Mkhize was killed by Sanele Zondi and Nkosi Zondi. And Nkosi Zondi was also present during the killing of Vela Mkhize. The plan of killing Vela happened in this way. Nkosi Zondi went to Vela Mkhize pretending to buy a venture from Vela Mkhize. On his arrival, he told Vela that he had only 20,000 rand, and Vela was asking for 25,000 rand. Nkosi Zondi promised to bring 5,000. Vela was promised to meet them at a certain spot to be paid the whole amount of 25,000. At the spot they agreed, Vela was kidnapped by people who introduced themselves as police officers. Vela was taken on handcuffs to Kwamakuta Cemetery, and Sanele Zondi and Nkosi Zondi was met there. Sanele first hit Vela with open hands. Sanele then took out a gun and fired a shot at Vela, who was on handcuffs. Vela was found in Durban, eThekwini, and taken to the cemetery. I would also like to state that after the death of Vela...
If you could also just announce the paragraphs when you're shifting.
All right. I'm now at paragraph 4.
Yes.
I would also like to state that after the death of Vela, known provincial commander of taxi violence crime, Mr. Kongo, I was one of the trustees of Stenga Taxi Association. I was a chairman of a disciplinary department within the association. I knew every secret that the members do not have to know. Paragraph 5. I always have a secret meeting with the following members in the association. Mr. Kanyile, who was the chairman, Mr. Ngobo, who was the vice chairman, and also the treasurer, Bongizwe Mhlongo, who was a PRO, and Sanele Zondi, who was an additional member. Paragraph 6. Our meeting was so sensitive even to discuss the people who must be killed. Bongizwe was a close friend of Mr. Kongo. Mr. Kongo would always make favor to the hitman of Stenger in order to arrest KwaMaphumulo Taxi Association. If there was something against Stenger's Taxi Association, Bongizwe would organize payment to Mr. Kongo. The cause of Mr. Kongo's death, he was investigating and arrested Maphumulo Taxi Association members. Mr. Kongo was killed by Maphumulo Taxi Association. Nkosi Zondi was a policeman working for Ketomena unit. Information was taken to Nkosi Zondi, and Nkosi Zondi arranged with his unit Ketomena and also poisoned his commander. The first member of Maphumulo Association to be assaulted was Lindelani Butelezi.
Is that assaulted or assassinated?
The first member of Maphumulo Taxi Association to be assassinated. I think it's assassinated. If we check the typed one, paragraph 9.
Paragraph 8.
8, yes. The first member of Maphumulo Taxi Association to be assassinated was Lindelani Butelezi, who was killed by Ketomena unit. As one of the trustees, I was there when money was arranged to pay Ketomena for a well job done. It was a lot of money. Sanele and Bongizwe were sent to see Nkosi Zondi and paid him their money. We were told feedback that Nkosi Zondi was paid the money. I cannot recall how much it was. The second people to be killed by Ketomena unit was Kopolo Tantuli and Natim Mtembu, nicknamed Mango Bondoan. The two were killed at Mandeni. Both were killed inside the same house. 5 of us, being Mr. Kanyile, Mr. Ngobo, Sanele, Bongizwe, and I, took out, I cannot remember how much it was, but it was a lot of cash. Sanele and Bongizwe were tasked to go and pay Ketomena. I heard that Ketomena unit was met at Tongat Toll Plaza and paid money, also for the job well done. Paragraph 10. The third person was Mdu Mkize. Mdu Mkize was killed by the police and money paid to those police officers. Paragraph 11. The fourth incident was the killing of Mr. Ndimande. Mr. Ndimande was killed in Howick area. Mr. Ndimande was killed by Ketomena unit. All 5 of us sat down and had a secret meeting to arrange payment to Ketomena unit. An amount of 750,000 rand was raised. Money was given to Sanele Zondi and Bongizwe to go and pay Ketomena. Always when Sanele and Bongizwe left with money, they would tell us that that money was going to be given to the boss, referring to Mr. Boysen. and they would say, we have connection and we pay Poison as head. Paragraph 12, the last person to be killed on Maphumulo Taxi Association was Bongani Mkhize. Bongani Mkhize was the chairperson. Bongani Mkhize was killed by Ketomena unit. Money, about 1 million, was raised and given to Sanele and Bongizwe to pay Ketomena. Sanele told us that 1 million would be paid to Poison, the big boss of Ketomena unit. Always when payment was done, Sanele would say he was going to pay Ketomena big boss, Mr. Poison. Sanele was a registered informer of Poison. I was a registered informer of Mr. Moster. Moster used to task me, and in return, I would give him information. Paragraph 13, that is all for now what I would recall, and I would call the police. 14, I know and understand the contents of this statement. I have no objection in taking the prescribed oath. I consider the prescribed oath to be binding on my conscience. The statement is signed by Mr. B. Mtiani and commissioned at Richards Bay Airport on the 31 of July 2012 at 21:54 by Lieutenant Colonel RAMAPHOSA.
Yes. Now, this is something extraordinary if you read the two statements alongside each other.
Yes.
The one person says, I was there when the money was collected.
That is correct.
And every time the Ketomano unit killed a person, we collected money.
That is correct.
I was not there when the money was paid, but I understood that it would be paid to Mr. Poison as the boss.
The big boss, yes.
The second witness says, I was there when the money was paid. That is Mr. Matonzi.
That is
I
correct.
saw personally General Poison getting the money.
That is correct.
And I saw Mr. Mostert getting the money.
Yes.
Now, as a prosecutor, what does that tell you in relation to the strength of your case?
Well, it strengthens that Ketomena police were part of this plan to eliminate members of Maphumulo Taxi Association.
No, but in relation to the quality of the evidence that you have, remember what this case boils down to
Yes.
is some people saying, oh, you don't have good enough evidence.
Yes, it adds a credence. It adds value. It's a different kind of evidence, but it adds impetus on how the accused are linked to the offences.
I mean, does it strengthen the case?
It
or
strengthens the case, yes.
Yes. Now, we know that at the time this matter was being considered, I don't know exactly the date when Mr. Mtiane Dlondlo died, but there is a reference in the Tikok report that he was dead. I think at the time that you were planning to start the trial, but at some point he passed away.
Yes, at some stage he passed away.
Yes. Now, his death in the context of a statement he has given that money was collected,
Yes.
what impact would that have had on the trial?
Well, remember his death would not take away the evidence that he has given in the form of a statement under oath.
Yes.
Because that evidence can be presented in terms of the Hearsay Evidence Act 1 of 1945.
And you would explain why it's given by a person other than the person on whose property value
That is correct.
resides.
Yes. Section 31C sets out the factors that are taken into account by the court to consider the admissibility of that statement.
Yes. So his death wouldn't mean that the statement is inadmissible.
100%.
Yes. Now, and there is the whole thing about hearsay. I mean, a witness who says, I was there when the money was collected, and it was said that it was being collected for Mr. General Poison. Is that a hearsay evidence, or is it direct evidence?
It's credible direct evidence. He was there.
Yes. and a witness who says, I saw the money being paid to Mr. Mostert and to Major General Boyson, is that hearsay or direct evidence?
That is direct evidence. At least at the time of the decision, that is direct evidence. Has not been watered down by cross-examination or anything.
Yes, yes. So was there any reason for you to doubt that these two witnesses, these two statements, would not be accepted by a judge, or anything that would have been wrong with them?
There was no reason to think. In fact, the law gives us a mechanism as to how that evidence has to be brought before court and considered together with the rest of the evidence that we are going to present before court.
Yes. Madam Chair, it's 1:23. I'm happy to just press ahead, but I'm in your hands.
I think it's the appropriate moment for me to take a lunch break for 45 minutes. My sisters agree that 45 minutes for lunch will be appropriate. We will reconvene at about 2:15.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
2:15.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Advocate Mayema, you are still under oath.
That is correct.
We adjourn. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Advocate Maema.
Good afternoon, Chair.
Ndata Chauke, good afternoon. Advocate Nkabinde, you are still under oath, Council.
That is correct,
You
Chairperson.
may
Thank you.
proceed, Advocate Nkabinde.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Maema, there are two more statements to cover on the killing of Mr. Mkiza Bongani. The one is at GSM 24 1A308. No, not in that one. Yeah, yes, correct.
What page is that?
1A308, Madam Chair.
1A.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you have it, Mr. Mayem?
That is correct, Chair. GSM 24.
Whose statement is that?
It's the statement of Tengamandla Walter Ngobo.
And what is his status?
He's an adult male, at the time residing at Mapumulo, a chairperson of Mapumulo Taxi Association.
And at the time of the killing of Mr. Bongani Mkiza, what was his status?
He was the chairperson of the Mapumulo Taxi Association.
No, paragraph 3 doesn't say he was the chairperson.
Oh yes, I was a deputy chairperson during the reign of the late Bongani Mkiza.
Then he says he was involved in meetings where the killing of their members were discussed, and specifically at paragraph 5, he attended the meeting with Mr. Bekicele.
That is correct. I was also part of a meeting that had been arranged by our lawyers with Mr. Bekicele.
And next paragraph.
Paragraph 6, the reason we decided to instruct Mr. Shozi was mainly the frustration and the difficulty we encountered from police authorities in the province. We were frustrated, paragraph 7, we were frustrated that our members were being killed by the police, and it appeared that the same story would be peddled, that it was they who were attempting to kill the police. Paragraph 8, we tried to get hold of Commissioner Hamilton Ngidi involved so that we could understand what was going on, but to no avail. Paragraph 9, we attempted to contact Mr. Bekicele on our own, but our efforts did not yield any positive results. Paragraph 10, our lawyer eventually arranged a meeting with Mr. Bekicele, and the meeting took place, although I cannot remember the date. 11, at the meeting, we informed Mr. Bekicele about our concern that our members were being murdered from left, right, and center, and the same excuse was being used, that they had been trying to grab a firearm or that they were shooting at the police. Paragraph 12, we also requested Mr. Bekicele to intervene and stop the killing of our members. If any of them were being sought, our attorneys should be contacted and they be processed in terms of the law. We also informed him that we requested a list of the members who were sought by the police. Paragraph 13, Mr. Bekicele make it clear to us that he just did not care about the death of our members. He boasted that, to use his words, amanzi atungekile, izingwenya zingathanda ukubhuda kuwona. This means that he was happy that his members were killing our members. The reason for the killing was that our association had elements or something of the sort. Paragraph 14.
I'm not sure if you understand Zulu, what that phrase means. Do you know?
What was mostly informed to us amanzi adungekile.
Yes.
The water is muddied, you know, if you want to swim with the crocodiles in the muddied water,
Yes.
you'll be dealt with.
Yes, you've muddied the waters.
Yeah.
Now accept that you will be attacked by crocodiles.
You'll be dealt with by the crocodile.
Yes.
You're proficient in Zulu.
Chairperson, this was explained to us when we were there. I wanted to know what is ukudungeka, amanzi adungekile. We were told.
And they translated that to you.
That is correct, Chair.
Yes.
Thank you. I asked because I know you are a Motswana like me.
Khonze jalo, Chair, ha ke bue puo e le seng. But having worked in that area for some time, you tend to pick up here and there. But this one specifically, we were told about ukudungeka kwamanzi.
I do understand a little bit of that.
Yes.
Thank you.
Just carry on after ukubhukuda kuwona.
This meant that he was happy that his members were killing our members. The reason for the killing was that our association had elements or something of the sort. Paragraph 14, Mr. Mkize then inquired from Mr. Kele if he was also on the list of the so-called wanted, so he could hand himself in with his attorney. Paragraph 15, Mr. Kele told Mr. Mkize to contact Commissioner Ngidi if he wanted that information. He further told Mr. Mkize that his attorney would not be informed. If he has to be arrested, he would just be arrested. He confirmed that there was a list of the wanted. Commissioner Ngiri could be contacted about the list. We left the meeting very disappointed. Our hopes of preventing further deaths were there and there dashed. Paragraph 16. We thereafter decided to instruct our lawyers to bring an application for an interdict to prevent the police from killing Mr. Mkize, because it became clear to us that indeed the police wanted to kill Mr. Mkize. Paragraph 17. A few months later, our worst fears were confirmed because despite the interdict, the police shot and killed Mr. Nkabinde. This is still a sore point in our association.
Yes. Now, I think last week we dealt with the fact that Cato Mano had